Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Jalaranjana Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Jalaranjana Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Jalaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Vishwala Paramsa Parivacharya Stotras, Divine Grace of Bhai, Charanavindesi, Bhaktivan Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Vishwala Paramsa Parivacharya Stotras, Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya. Saram Cheva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jai Mudirayet. Nashta Praneshva Bhaddeshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhaktir Bhavatir Nishtaki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all for being here and dealing with me for half an hour. I appreciate it. 40 minutes. I'll keep it short. I feel really blessed to be amongst all of you. I mean, you're all very senior devotees, very exalted personalities, and I feel very small in your presence. So thank you so much for being here. I start by paying obeisances to Guru, paying obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. And the Supreme Lord, seek all their blessings so that we can make some spiritual progress today from today's lecture. So, once again, thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I believe we are speaking Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, right?
Yes.
Disappearance of Lord Krishna. And we're going to read from text 40. So, this is a very nice little section of the Bhagavatam. You know, this verse, I read it before I came, and I read it, and I was like, it seems very interesting. We're going to talk about charity, we're going to talk about promises, we're going to talk about harsh words, all things that we think about as very material or worldly. At least I thought these topics are very material, but when we see that Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, he's going to ask Arjuna about why are the reasons that you're having this discouragement. And he comes to a conclusion. Once we'll realize after reading this verse, if we go on to in the next chapter, we'll realize that this actual discouragement Arjuna is feeling is not anything material, but something much, much deeper than that. And to really understand today's verse, we have to go back and kind of review where we are in the time and what's happening. So really the background is that Yudhiṣṭhira is beginning to notice kind of these omens, these unnatural situations. His limbs are quivering. He's seeing strange animal behavior. Society's in complete disorder. Everyone's in anxiety. And Yudhiṣṭhira is starting to understand something's got to be wrong. Something isn't right. And at the same time, Arjuna has been gone for some time to go see Krishna and went to Dwarka, to visit all the yadus. And he finally has come back. And when he comes back, Yudhiṣṭhira notices that Arjuna is just not the same Arjuna he used to know. He's somewhat disheartened. This is the warrior defeated, Arjuna is a warrior, defeated all these great kings. He defeated defeated Bhishma. And Arjuna is looking very shaken, very defeated. And so this is not the type of Arjuna he's used to seeing. And so, as any brother would do, if you see your younger brother suffering, you're going to ask him, hey, what's going on? So this is what's happening. Yudhiṣṭhira is asking his brother, what happened? He has a series of questions. He asked him already, hey, did somebody insult you? Did you do something by accident, something improper to somebody? Did somebody treat you improperly? Were you not able to protect someone? Did you fail in your duties? He's asking all these questions. Today we're going to ask, today's verse is actually one of those questions that Yudhiṣṭhira is going to ask. So we're going to read text 40. Text 40, Canto 1, Chapter 14, Text 40. So I will read the Sanskrit. I'll try to do this well. Kachinna bihato bhave sabdadibir amangale nadattam uktam artibhya asayayat pratishrutam kachinna bihato bhave sabdadibir amangale nadattam uktam artibhya asayayat pratishrutam kachinna bihato bhave sabdadibir amangale nadattam uktam artibhya asayayat pratishrutam
Kaschinna bihato bhave
Shabdadibir amangale Nadatam uktam artibhya Asayayat pratishrutam Kachinna bihato bhave Shabdadibir amangale Nadatam uktam artibhya Asayayat pratishrutam
Kachinna bihato bhave
Shabdadibir amangale Nadatam uktam artibhya Asayayat pratishrutam
Kachinna bihato bhava
Kachinna bihato bhave
sabdadibir amangala
Sabdadibir amangale
nadatam utam ibaya
Nadatam uktam artibhya
asaya pratishritam
Asayayat pratishrutam Kachit whether Na could not Abhihata addressed by Abhave unfriendly Sabda adibi by sounds Amangale inauspicious Na did not Datam given charity Uktam is said Artibhya unto one who asked Ashaya with hope Yat what Pratishrutam promise to be paid. Translation. Has someone addressed you with unfriendly words or threatened you? Could you not give charity to one who asked? Or could you not keep your promise to someone? Read the translation again. You can repeat after me. Has someone addressed you with unfriendly words or threatened you? Could you not give charity to one who asked? Or could you not keep your promise to someone? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Sri Prabhupada ki. A Kshatriya or a rich man is sometimes visited by persons who are in need of money. When they are asked for a donation, it is the duty of the possessor of wealth to give charity in consideration of the person, place, and time. If a Kshatriya or a rich man fails to comply with his obligation, he must be very sorry for this discrepancy. Similarly, one should not fail to keep his promise to give in charity. These discrepancies are sometimes causes of despondency, and thus failing, a person becomes subjected to criticism, which might also be the cause of Arjuna's plight. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagara Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagara Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhari Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvascha Kripa Sandubhya Evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shrivari Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll read this translation again. Has someone addressed you with unfriendly words or threatened you? Could you not give charity to one who asked? Or could you not keep your promise to someone? So Yudhiṣṭhira is now asked these questions to Arjuna. What is the reason for your despondency? And so the first thing he asks is, if you break this down, this translation, the first thing he asks is, has someone addressed you with unfriendly words? So think about it. Who is Arjuna? Arjuna is some sort of slouch. He is a warrior. He has fought Bhishma, Karna. And he's asking, did someone hurt you with your words? But this shows just how strong words are. You know, physical strength does not make someone immune to emotional pain. So even the senior devotee can be hurt by harsh dealings. Prabhupada used to emphasize repeatedly to his disciples the importance of Vaishnava etiquette and the importance of proper speech. Have you ever thought when we spoke to someone, I know I've made this mistake before, I'm just being honest. I gotta tell them the truth, right? You know. But honesty, really without compassion, doesn't really get the point across. It's actually very disheartening to the receiver of the message. And in devotional community specifically, we should ask, are the words that I'm going to speak take this person closer to Krishna, or going to drive them away from Krishna? And what do we mean by that? Sometimes we have to deliver a message to someone that has to be some philosophical truth they have to deliver to someone. They're making a mistake. And we may think, well, I better deliver this message to them because I have to do that so they know the philosophy. But if we deliver the message harshly, how much philosophy will the person remember? None. Will they remember? The harsh words. The harsh words only. So Prabhupada was very strong when he delivered messages. Very purposeful. But he was never harsh. He once said that devotees should deal with each other in such a way that people should feel encouraged to pursue spiritual life. And people sometimes, I've heard this before from people, I've never thought this myself, but I've heard people before. Sometimes people come to the temple and they say, spiritual life, all I do is get criticized all day long. So, Prabhupada says spiritual life we should be saying, welcome home, not welcome to temple, let me criticize you. This is what we need to have people come. So when we speak a difficult truth to somebody, let's ask, first of all, is it actually true what I'm going to say? Is it necessary? Do I have to tell them? Is it going to make a big difference if I tell them or don't tell them? And what's the best way to say it? Because even the sincere devotee can become discouraged, not by philosophy, but by dealing with others who are critical. And sometimes the greatest preaching simply is, how can I make people feel good about being in Krishna consciousness? There's a story. So fun thing about when you prepare for these classes, you get to dive into all these different stories about Prabhupada and his life. So I read this story. Bhakti-tirtha Swami recounted an experience when he was serving Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada had these sores on his body, injuries on his body. And Bhakti-tirtha Swami was asked to apply some medicinal neem to his bodily sores. And understandably, he was quite nervous. Imagine trying to physically do service for your spiritual master. It's a very, very tall task. And it can be very anxious. So, as expected, he was very anxious. And as he was applying this neem, his hands were starting to shake out of anxiety. And as he was doing this, he started spilling the medicine all over. Spilling on Prabhupada's clothes, spilling it all over the place. And in his mind, he was thinking, I've ruined everything. Prabhupada's going to be so upset at me, and he may just tell me to get lost. He was expecting to receive some strong criticism from Srila Prabhupada. Instead, what did Srila Prabhupada do? He simply looked at him, and he smiled.
You say it's Bhakti-tirtha?
Bhakti-tirtha Swami.
Oh, Bhakti-tirtha Swami, okay.
He just smiled at him. No shaming, no humiliation, no even public correction. Just kindness.
Wow.
And Bhakti-tirtha Swami later said, this deeply moved him. It actually transformed him because he realized two important things. He realized that even if I make a mistake, my spiritual master still loves me. And he realized also that doesn't mean I have license to be very careless. I have to learn to improve. So though Prabhupada didn't criticize, so we have to have this important balance when we speak to others. Prabhupada was not just sentimental. He expected responsibility from his devotees, from his disciples. Did he correct when he needed to be corrected? Yes. He corrected strongly when things needed to be corrected. But he understood one thing that I know I forget, many of us forget. You can correct behavior without crushing somebody. So, this is very important. Probably about 3-4 months ago, I was doing service for Srinathji. I was dressed Srinathji in the afternoon. And for some reason or other, the pujari is supposed to be doing service at 4:15, didn't show up. So they asked me, can you do 4:15 Arti? I'm like, yeah, I can do 4:15 Arti. I have seen 4:15 Arti probably 500 times in my life. But have I ever paid attention to it? No, never paid attention to it. So when they asked me, do Arti, I was like, sure, no problem. And I assumed it was a full Arti. And so I got everything ready for a full Arti. Well, the 4:15 Arti is a dup Arti. So it's not a full Arti, so there's some items that are not offered. And so I got everything set to go, get the full thing, did the whole full Arti, and as I'm about to leave Śrīmad, Prabhu said, and I'm like, uh-oh, what have I done? I did something completely wrong. And I'm like, boy, I'm gonna get it. So he says, can I come see me? So as I'm cleaning up, he says, do you know the 4:15 arti is a dup arti? And I was like, oh, I did everything, didn't I? He's like, yeah, you did everything. But that's okay. I'm like, but Prabhupada, I didn't know I did blah, 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 blah. He's like, that's okay, no problem. It's all right, you did a good job. You did a very, very good job. You arti very nicely. But just read he sent me an email of this, the temple etiquette book, which I already had. When's the last time I read it? Probably a long time ago. So just read this book again so you know how to properly do service. And he could have crushed me. He could have said, you've been a pujari for 10 years. What is wrong with you? You don't know how to do this. But he simply said, you did a good job. There are some things incorrectly. And I read that book again, and I was like, well, I do a lot of things incorrectly, honestly. Okay. I don't pay attention to as much things like this. So it was a good learning experience for me. But it was very nice. He corrected me, but he didn't crush me. So that was a great example of this, of how we can stay away from using unfriendly words or threatening words. So the second theme that he talks about, Yudhiṣṭhira says, could you not give charity to one who asked? Is that why you're down? You couldn't give charity to someone who asked? And to me, this felt kind of unusual. I mean, if someone asks me charity, I say no, I don't feel down at all. I'm like, okay, it doesn't bother me. In fact, I probably feel down if I give too much in charity. Oh, I gave too much money, I shouldn't have given so much. So, but this is a spiritual person. A spiritual person feels bad when they can't give charity like they should. For a Kshatriya, in the purport, Prabhupada says, for a Kshatriya or a wealthy person, is charity an option? Well, charity is not an option. It is an obligation. He says, it says, complies with obligation. So it's an obligation. He has to give to charity. It's like a duty to give to charity. If someone genuinely asks and you can't help, it's not a good feeling. A saintly person feels bad about that. So is that our mindset? Is that my mindset? Not all the time. Is that society's mindset? What society say? Keep what you can keep. What's yours, yours. You've earned it. Everything you got is yours because of your own hard work. Everything's mine because I earned it. That's what society tells us. What's Vedic society say? Everything I have is given to me by Krishna. It's my responsibility to use it wisely. This is a big difference. This doesn't apply just to wealth, right? Wealth doesn't just mean money. Wealth means time. Wealth means your energy. Wealth means your knowledge, your encouragement. These are all things that have wealth. Your ability to serve, your ability to be hospitable to others. These are all wealthy things you can do as well. So in temple life, sometimes we think charity means, let me go to the hundi box, drop a $10 bill in, and that's my charity. That's charity, sure, that's charity. But there are other things you can do as well. Sometimes a devotee is sick. Do we cook some food for them and take it to them? That can be charity. How about giving someone association who really needs association? How about mentoring a neophyte devotee? Covering for a service for a person when they're unable to do a service. These are all acts of charity that are the same as giving money or anything like that. There are so many different forms of charity. And Prabhupada really created this whole movement based on charity, people giving. People gave everything. People gave their homes. George Harrison gave his home, his estate to the Hare Krishnas. People give their cars. Sometimes people give their cars for their guru or for people, seniors, so they can drive around and go to preaching events. People give of their time. People give of their careers. As long as Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was going to be a CEO of probably Pepsi one day or some big company. And he gave it all because he knew his knowledge would be much better use being a preacher in Krishna consciousness. So many people who are very, very talented give up their talents or use their talents specifically for Krishna consciousness. And not because Prabhupada forced them to do it. Prabhupada didn't say, George said, give up all your money and give it to me. They gave it up of their own because when they start to see Krishna and the devotees, people become very generous. There's the pastime of Sudama Brahman, right? Sudama Brahman. Was he very rich? No, he had nothing. Except for what? He had some chipped rice. And so Krishna said, please give me something. You come to my home. What can you give me some charity. I said, all I have is this chipped rice. Krishna said, oh, thank you so much. And he ate it. And he said, this is the best chipped rice. Thank you so much. So now I was feeling very ashamed of giving such a small amount. But Krishna is not a measure the amount of the item you're giving. He measures the amount of devotion that you are using to give. Are you giving with devotion? Sometimes we think, I don't have much to offer. What does Krishna ask for? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Yo me bhaktya prayachyati tad aham bhaktyupartam asnami prayatakman manaha. Just offer him. If one offers me with love and devotion, one leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Offer what we have. Sometimes just offering a smile is all someone needs. Sometimes just offering some service. Just some encouragement. Maybe that's all somebody needs. This is also charity. But really what happens when we give charity, something amazing happens. Krishna actually reciprocates much more than we give. What did Sudama Brahman get when he gave his chipped rice? What did Krishna give him back? Wealth, unlimited wealth, a huge property, amazing home and property, abundance. Krishna gave him reciprocation because Sudama gave him so much, I had to give something back. And Prabhupada felt very strong about charity. So, we all know, maybe we don't know, but how the whole Food for Life program started. So the Food for Life program, while in Mayapur, there was a large feast. And the devotees had thrown away their used leaf plates behind the temple. Sri Prabhupada was upstairs, and he heard all this commotion outside, and he heard these dogs barking, and these children shouting. And he went out to his balcony, and he looked out, and what did he see? He saw these children, very poor children, fighting with the dogs over the scraps of prasadam. And he said, children cannot go hungry. Not anywhere in the temple. Not within 10 miles of the temple, a child should not go hungry. And this is when he started this program. In fact, he said the temple is a house of God. If God is the Father, how can his children go hungry? That's what Prabhupada said. And this became the inspiration for the large-scale prasadam distribution of ISKCON called the Food for Life program. So Prabhupada practiced charity as well. But what's the greatest charity we can offer? Is it money? Is it time? What's the greatest charity we can offer? Service? Offering of the holy name. Right? Offering of the holy name. Giving of this holy name to others.
Okay.
So we have all been blessed by somebody giving us this holy name. So when in 2000, I was attending the wedding, my wife and I were attending the wedding of Nitya Krishna Prabhu and Nitya Kishori Mataji. And Narendra Krishna Prabhu and Sarod Mataji, as a gift for all the guests, there were like 700 guests. As a gift for the guests, you know what they gave us? A bar of chocolate?
700 guests here.
Not here, it was in a hall.
Okay.
They gave each and every person a Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
As it is by Srila Prabhupada. 700 plus people they gave a book to. And all those people were blessed some way, shape, or form. In that book, I looked at it, I'm like, what am I doing? Why would they give me this book?
Okay.
What kind of gift is a book? I'm used for like a chocolate bar or a trinket or something that I can keep. And so, but I knew it was a spiritual book, so I kept it in our shelf. It sat there as a ticking time bomb for many, many years. And finally, in 2011, it blew up.
Okay.
And it changed my life, and it changed my wife's life, and changed our kids' life, and our family's life. And so it just is amazing showing of charity that what they did saved my life, saved my soul. So, so we talk about charity, talk about unfriendly words, and the third thing Yudhiṣṭhira talks about is, he says, could you not keep your promise to someone? Could you not keep your promise to someone? It seems like that's if you don't keep your promise, we all blow our promises all day long, right? But a gentleman keeps his word. A devotee should be reliable. Why? Because reliability is spiritual currency. When a devotee says, I'll do it, people should feel peaceful, not nervous. In our society, commitments have become somewhat negotiable, right? Whatever, commitment, who cares? When we ask someone to do something, we typically hear, maybe, I'll get back to you. We'll see. Something came up. My favorite's always, when I personally always use, if I want to blow somebody up, I always say, I'll try my best. So, these are all the things we say when we don't want to commit. We don't make a promise. But for devotional life to really to progress, to mature, we have to have integrity. As our integrity matures, our spirituality matures. This doesn't mean perfection. It has to be perfect. It just means being sincere. And let's think about the tensions that occur in our life, even our spiritual community. Why did many of them happen? Because someone did not hold up their end of the bargain. Someone made a promise that they didn't come through with. Prabhu, you bring prasadam? Yeah, I'll bring prasadam. I'll bring prasadam, don't worry. Where's the prasadam? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Pujari service, can you come around Pujari service? Yes. What happened? Where were you? Oh, I forgot. It's better to say, I can't do it. Say, because sometimes we feel, that because I'm doing service, I have to promise something. But this is not how we do it. Prabhupada actually expected a lot from his disciples. And, when they made promises, he depended on them. He trusted them. And because he trusted them, he empowered them to do things that, how could he have done it by himself? He expected responsibility, and if he didn't get wasn't able to get it, he did things himself too. So, there's the promise, the main promise, the biggest promise Prabhupada made was to who? Bhaktisiddhanta. And what did he promise him?
He would come over here.
He would go to the West.
Books.
He made this promise to his spiritual master many, many years before he came here.
40 years.
40 years before he came here, that he was going to preach to the West. And that was a promise he took seriously. At nearly 70 years old, with how much money? No money.
Age.
Health? No health. Multiple heart attacks aboard a cargo ship. No institutional support. No certainty of success. He still came to America because he'd accepted the instruction of his spiritual master. He made a promise. Prabhupada did not take his guru's instructions like a suggestion. Like sometimes we take things as suggestion. He treated it like his life's promise. And what about disciples? What about the disciples? What did they do? Let's talk about London. What happened in London? Prabhupada wanted a temple in London. He wanted a center in London. And because his spiritual master wanted a center in London, what did his disciples do? They went to London.
Right.
And they had no backing. They had no connections. They had no money. Who was supporting? Nobody's supporting them. Seems like a pretty impossible task. But yet the devotees, Mukunda Prabhu, Samasunda Prabhu, Malti Prabhu, and others, they kept trying and trying and trying. And what happened? They run into George Harrison.
Okay.
And if you want the full story, read Chasing Rhinos. They tell the whole story in there. Or read Prabhupada's Vilamrita. They'll tell about the stories in there. But their persistence, because their guru told them they want a center in London, they just never stopped. It was like a promise they made that they want to fulfill for their guru. So keeping a promise to guru sometimes means refusing to quit. Even after you have failed and failed and failed. Because sometimes seva, service, is not easy. Sometimes relationships aren't easy. Sometimes management makes things difficult.
Okay.
But determination of service means I gave my word to Krishna, I gotta do it. I gotta stay. This is what the promise is. I look at all the devotees here that come every Sunday morning. What a promise they've made to show up here every Sunday. It's not easy to come at 4:45 every Sunday morning. It's not easy to come Bhagavatam class every day. And yet you all made this promise to do it. Who made the promise? I don't know, but keep coming. Keep that promise up. Keep it up. You know, so many services, we've all seen services. People come, and unfortunately people go. And it's just one of the things that happen. And so one of my services I have at the temple is I do this guest service. I've been in this guest service kind of group since 2014. And luckily for me, Krishna somehow kept me around all this time. Raj Kumar has kept me around. And we get, people come, and it's a fun service. It really is a fun service. You get to meet a lot of cool people, and you get to see all the nooks and crannies, all the cool parts of the temple. But it's a service. You gotta come here every Sunday, you gotta get prepared, you gotta talk to people. And I will get people ask me all the time, hey, can I do the service? And then we'll talk to Jagadu Prabhu and say, yeah, have me do the service. And they'll come and they'll do it, give a tour with me once, twice, and then I can't come on Sunday. I have something come up, this happens, and then they're gone. And it's okay, it happens. But you know, there's this Prabhu here right in front of me, Brian Prabhu, who about a year ago said, I want to do this service. And I'm like, oh, I've heard this one before. You know, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Oh, wow.
And you know, what happened? He has come here every Sunday. And I still bug him every time. I always text him, you're coming, right? You're coming. And every time, I don't know why I even do it. It's not a bad habit, but he's like, I'll be there at 3:30. And he's always there.
Okay.
He's always there. And what a great service. So thank you, Prabhu, for always being here. But there are so many devotees who serve all the time. Nitai Jivan Prabhu and Machi coming every Sunday. Kanaya Krishna Prabhu making paneer all the time. You know, these are the promises that we make to do service, and we stick up to our promises. So this is spiritual maturity. People can count on you, not because you're perfect, but because your word means something. So Yudhiṣṭhira asked all these practical questions. Did someone insult you? Did you fail in charity? Did you break your word? So is this the real problem for Arjuna? Well, I kind of read ahead. I cheated. I read ahead a little bit. And what's Arjuna's real problem? So we will find out that Arjuna's suffering is really not any of these questions. It's actually quite a bit deeper than that. In the next chapter, Arjuna will talk about the fact that Krishna has departed from this world. And Arjuna is he's feeling completely empty. Because the same Arjuna who defeated all these mighty warriors suddenly feels powerless. He realizes, and he speaks about this, he said, everything I ever did was because of Krishna's mercy. My strength was really never mine. My intelligence wasn't really ever mine. My glory was only due to Krishna. And this is really an important lesson for all of us because sometimes, many times, we try to diagnose our own problem. Why am I so sad? Is it this? Is it my job? Is it my spouse? Is it my friends? Is it people treat me badly? Is it my circumstances? And sometimes those things do matter. I mean, sometimes we're in bad situations. I'm not trying to make light of those things. But really, the most important thing is, are any of those things affecting my connection to Krishna? Because if my connection to Krishna stays strong, everything is okay. But when this material discouragement leads to spiritual discouragement, then we may be doing seva, we may be doing work, we may be attending temple, but we're really not. We have somewhat checked out. Our japa is not that good, or we're doing less of it. Or I'm not listening to lectures anymore. I'm listening to the radio instead. I'm listening to TV instead of watching a YouTube of a spiritual discussion. I'm not associating with devotees, I'm having more material association. And these things don't happen immediately, they happen Just a little bit. Next thing you know, what happened? How did I get to this point? Just like spiritual life happened little bit, and now we're here compared to where we were many years ago. But when this happened, life gets a bit heavy. And it's not because really our life has changed. There's always going to be problems. Now, we can all think of a time when we were so-called super happy and so-called super unhappy. And really things weren't all that different. We had problems both times. We had happiness both times. Just looking at one time, we're looking at the happiness, one time we're looking at the distress. Because all this is because the connection to Krishna has become weak. If our connection to Krishna stays strong, it doesn't matter what material impediments we have. So Prabhupada's life. Whenever we think about obstacles, don't go any further than looking at Srila Prabhupada's life. Was his life difficult? One could argue that his life was the most difficult. He had the most obstacles. And one would think, to start a movement, you have to have some connection to some wealth. Was he rich? He was virtually penniless when he came to America. Oh, he must have been strong and healthy. He must have came at a young age. No. He was 70 years old. He just had 2 heart attacks. You know, he must have traveled in first-class situation. No, he had a 35-day voyage across the Atlantic Ocean on a luxury liner, no, on a cargo ship, And his message must have been pretty much approved by everyone, right? Everyone loved his message. Mainstream media said this guy is a conservative nut, right? But then the Orthodox Hindus were saying this guy is way too liberal. He's converting Americans. What's going on? So his message wasn't met with really any kind of excitement by the mainstream groups. But through all of this, there's one feature that was very obvious about Srila Prabhupada's life. He was externally fearless. And one would say, how did he maintain this fearlessness throughout all these difficult situations? I mean, he was by himself in New York City. I don't want to go by myself in New York City and not know anybody. He was in his different country at age 7 years old, not knowing anybody. Yet he was externally fearless. And why is he externally fearless? His strength came from one thing. He completely depended on Krishna. He didn't depend on himself. He completely depended on Krishna. Prabhupada once said, I never felt alone. That's a very beautiful thing to say. He never felt alone. So real strength is not independence. In the U.S., and what do we preach about? Independence. We are independent people. Why is America great? Because we all are independent. That's not real strength. Real strength is actually dependence. Dependence on who, though? Dependence on Krishna. That is real strength. So what can we take home from this verse? Yudhiṣṭhira teaches us to examine ourselves. We can ask, how are my dealings with others? Am I careful with my words? I'm looking at myself. I'm not looking at all of you. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at myself. Am I careful with my words? Am I generous? Not just financially, but am I generous emotionally? Am I generous spiritually? Do I keep my promises? Can devotees depend on me? And most importantly, how is my connection to Krishna? Because external success without Krishna, Arjuna proves it, external success without Krishna is empty. But struggles with Krishna are meaningful. So these lessons we're learning in this part of the Bhagavatam are actually pretty profound. Because the Bhagavatam really kind of reveals to us, Yudhiṣṭhira is asking Arjuna about external causes, but the Bhagavatam really reveals to us that our deepest pain actually comes from separation from Krishna. And our deepest healing is actually renewing our remembrance of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Anyone have any thoughts, realizations?
Thank you, Guru. Thanks for that.
Thank you for dealing with my class. So,
I remember from instruction reports the Dati Pratigraha Indian archetypes that we don't pay about that is Shrimadbhagavatam recollection, like loving exchange.
the devotees. Yeah.
And when it is in charity, like I remember that sort of. And yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for explaining something I didn't get. I was trained by somebody from a different culture and with a very sternness, and she would lecture. It is your job to make sure that if anybody makes a mistake, you would let them know. I've been at it for like 6 years. That just doesn't work. It's a different generation. So thank you. That makes sense.
Well, the nice thing is that, Prabhupada, from when he instructed, he was firm, but he was obviously very friendly too.
Yeah.
He let people get away with anything. Because in the end, we have to do service properly. And I've been instructed before on the altar, stop talking. and that's proper, right? And someone has to tell me to stop talking. They don't have to tell me in a nice way, but if they tell me, hey, you idiot, stop talking, they can do that. Or they can say, please stop talking. The deities are being disturbed.
Okay.
Both make the same thing. But one is a little different than the other. Yeah. And we have to remember when we are correcting, are we correcting because our ego? Or are we correcting because it's the right thing to do? And sometimes, especially when we're dealing with our kids, when the kids are misbehaving, we like, hey, I'm the parent, you're the kid, stop it. And that may not be the best way to get things done. Yes, Mataji.
That same person, she asked me once, we were praying, can you please take this washcloth and just clean one little table? So my whole family did that. When you do service, something changes. You feel the bliss.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I never stopped doing service. You get a taste.
Haribol.
So it's not about keeping a promise from me. It's the love from the deities, from washing dishes. You will attest.
Yes.
That's what I'm most blissful to be.
Yeah, you gotta do it right.
You're all
Just the funny thing, you gotta do it right.
You're all very realized. It's nice that the service has drawn you in. But sometimes, even with service, we have to make sure even if service isn't making us exactly happy or feeling blessed, still, if we make a promise, we should maintain that service.
Yes.
And what will happen is, you will love that service. Right. What will happen is you will love that service. When we first started, we were given these, what would be probably at this point considered to be services that were very simple, but they brought us joy to do them. We used to fix up the boga in the closet, and my wife would make a label. She made my wife's very detailed, so she made it like very organized, and she enjoyed that so much. And I think she enjoyed telling me how to put things in organization too. So it was a win-win for her. She could organize and tell me how to do it. So it was good. So yeah, it's a very, very nice verse. So any other thoughts? Thank you, Mataji, for sharing.
Yeah, continuously if we do one service, we get that sense.
Yes, anytime we do a service, Krishna will make sure that we will grow in love for that service, because that'll keep us coming back over. And in the end, what happens? It's only for our benefit. It's for our benefit. We think service is for the temple's benefit. It's not for the temple's benefit. It's for our benefit.
Anyone can do it. If you are not there, anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it. You're right. You are very right. Yes. Thank you.
I just have one last question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, there might be other questions. I just have a question. For clarification. So, like you mentioned, when we're trying to correct, or like we should ask ourselves, not only how should we correct, so to make sure that we correct nicely and not in a harsh way, but also are we the right ones to give that correction? So how do we know if we're the right ones to give correction to other, I guess we'll just talk about other devotees?
So the question is, so the question is, should I be the one giving the instruction or not? How do we know? So if you ask me, I don't have a great answer for it, but I'll tell you, personally, I try to not give any instruction unless someone senior has told me to do that. So if someone senior has told me, hey, this person is your responsibility to train up, then I will give them instruction. If I have no connection to that person that they're doing it, I will not instruct them. And maybe that's probably too lax, but I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
So if someone's committing a grave offense, I will probably tell someone in authority to say, hey, this person is doing something really not good, and then they will say you can correct them or whatever. But what happens is I've found if I ever step out of that lane, I tend to get a power trip, and it just continues on and on and on. So if I'm like, hey, let me correct this guy too, and this guy too, let me correct him. And next thing you know, I correct 8 people, probably 5 in the wrong way, and probably 7 the wrong way and 1 the right way, honestly. So, and probably needed to be corrected. I'm not saying it didn't need to be corrected, but I was the wrong person to do it.
So until and unless you get an instruction, it's not advisable to do.
Yeah, I would say that how do we know, like, let me give a perfect example. Sometimes someone is doing a service that we think they're doing incorrectly, but maybe they've been told by someone senior to do that service that way. And I'm like, wait, that's not the right way to do it. That's the way I was taught. Let's do it this way. Well, I was told by Jadaguru Prabhu or Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to do it this way. Well, whoops. I totally overstepped my. I totally overstepped my. What's that?
I know a perfect example, like when I the curtains are these curtains are supposed to be closed when we're taking a shot of them.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
And I didn't know there was a cord for the, and I pulled the cord, and Jagaguru came to me one day, and I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. Then I found someone, and they got up on the ladder, and they fixed it. Like about 2 hours later, he said, it's gonna cost $1,000 to get it fixed and everything. I was so embarrassed.
So you tore it down.
You're the one. Huh?
Yeah. And you said it's all on camera. And this is what he just heard when he first came back from India too.
Wow. Welcome back. Yeah. A very nice example.
Yeah, Gabe went up there, I got around from the corner, and he went up on the ladder, and he told me he had done this before. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, Gabe? Yeah, he put the clips back on, I felt
Wow. Yes.
Well, if anyone ever sees you got the curtains open,
Now you know who
please
Use the rope. Yes, my
use the rope.
I know I was trained, you're supposed to do that, criticize. But my daughter, his son's training, when you criticize, whatever you say, bounces back to you.
Okay.
And you're gonna do it. You will want to just what you're criticizing.
When
There's
you point at someone, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you.
Right.
There's actually a well-known saying that the faults you find in others are the ones that are really the ones you probably have the most.
Absolutely.
This is
Most often the ones you have.
the ones the most you have yourself.
Okay.
So if you think someone's always late, you're probably always late.
Okay.
So Those are the things that we find. So, yeah, I mean, I think that, it's been well proven out that criticism never wins you anything. So if you have to be stern or firm about something, there's plenty of ways to do it without directly being critical of someone.
So creative criticism. That's the word. Creative criticism. Okay.
But if you don't point it out, you will take the
Yeah.
So you have to, if you see someone doing something incorrectly, you should definitely find out from someone like senior and say, hey, this person is maybe doing something incorrectly, and they'll help you understand whether it's incorrect or not, and you'll be okay. But for most of us, especially when we're in a position, as some of us get further and further along in our devotional service, we'll be asked to do things like Mother Mohini probably has been asked to train up some pujaris, and you have to be somewhat critical of them. You have not been trained.
You have to very sweet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You have to tell them they're doing something.
I learned from somebody. I was trained, and he was training me how to trust for me time.
Connect Shrimadbhagavatam, he's very sweet.
And
Yes.
I'm pointing to him.
Hey, Connect Shrimadbhagavatam, Jai. So, Jai, should we stop here?
No.
So yeah, what I've heard is that if we see issues or see things that we don't think are being done correctly, we just always go with senior management, temple management, like seniors, and have them, do the correction.
Or,
Yes.
for me, give me the feedback. I don't care. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Something to be helpful.
Don't give me the feedback. I'll cry.
I completely messed up Sunday. I took the Gilam straight to you without offering to Srila Prabhupada. You got me, and Karuna Radha both got me. So it's like, I won't do that again. It's been a long time since I've taken the Gilam, and I completely forgot to offer to Srila Prabhupada first.
We always make mistakes on it. So yes, I appreciate the corrections.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, like sometimes, sometimes I'll see new devotees, or new people come to town, and they'll take a picture and stand in front and kind of pose, and I'm like, do I say something? Because I know you're not supposed to some of these. But we don't have signs, and I don't want to make it like a bad experience
Yeah.
for the first time. So these are things that I'm like, when do we actually say something? How do I say it? Maybe it's better I just say nothing.
And see, I just learned that's an offense. I didn't know that.
Hey, I looked out a few weeks ago, and 2 people were sitting on Telson's table. Oh, is there a senior devotee somewhere? And I'm telling them no. And I called you over to sit in the chair.
One time when we were dressing, we had someone's walked onto the altar like this.
That's my nightmare.
They just walk like, whoa, what are you doing here? You can't come out here.
Real? Wow. Wow.
You can't.
They didn't know.
I've never seen that one.
They just walked she walked onto the altar, was trying to get something off the step, right? When she came on,
No, I think she just thought you could. Like sometimes you think you can ring the bell and go up.
I think she saw all of us going, yes, right.
And we're right on
She walked on like, what are you doing?
Still, see, you can do that at the Mahārāja Temple. They have Radha, Krishna, Rama, and all these demigods. You can go up there and touch them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't think they just thought this was normal.
Yeah.
I think,
Each temple is different.
Yeah, so, yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of opportunities where we can say something and just that are.
So I would say the default should be from what I learned from Prabhupada, let a lot of things go when people are getting started. a lot of offenses go. But as time progressed, he would correct them. So someone's come for the first time and they're taking pictures with the deities. I mean, we don't want to say, hey, it's an offense, get out of here. But as time goes, we befriend them. And, we ask them, what brought you here? This first time coming in, oh, great, nice to meet you. Where are you from? And all that kind of. Pretty soon you can ask them, just want to let you know, in future when you come back, you actually can't take a picture with, you can't pose and say. So,
Well, now that you put it that way.
so, and they'll appreciate it. But if you tell them, hey, you, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Yeah, and the first
They won't allow it.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts?
These are all called anarchas, right?
Anarthas, yeah.
Anarchas.
Agrees with, these are offenses.
Anartha means impurity. Aparadha means...
I'm sorry, yes, you're right.
Say these words again.
Anartha means impurities.
Okay.
Aparadha means offenses.
Offenses, yes.
Anarthas are, we have greed, we have lust, we have, these are things we have within ourselves that we're trying to purify.
Yes.
Thank you for the next class.
Thank you. Thank you for all your encouragement of me, so I appreciate it. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.